Hello everyone. So in this series of breast pathology lecture, I'll be discussing fibroadenoma, which is a tumor of intralobular stroma. So I already discussed in the last video that there are two types of stroma in the breast. One is the interlobular stroma, this pink one, and it is present in between the large ducts and lobules. So this is interlobular stroma, and it is similar to the connective tissue which is found elsewhere in the body, while the other special type of stroma of the breast is intralobular stroma, this green one. So this is present in vicinity of the acini, and it is a specialized stroma and it is hormonally responsive. So the tumors that can arise from the interlobular stroma are tumors which are similar to the connective tissue tumors like lipomas, liposarcomas, hemangiomas, angiosarcoma, fibrosarcoma, etc. While the intralobular stroma, it will give rise to two tumors, that is fibroadenoma and Phyllodes tumor, and these tumors are exclusive for the intralobular stroma. So fibroadenoma is the most common benign tumor of the female breast. It is a biphasic tumor, which means that when there is the proliferation of intralobular stroma, sometimes growth factors are created, which causes the proliferation of the epithelial component also. In two-thirds of the cases of fibroadenoma, there is a mutation, which is MED12 mutation. There is a term myxoid fibroadenoma. So myxoid fibroadenomas, they are associated with Carney's complex closely, and they don't have MED12 mutation. Fibroadenomas occur in an age group of 20 to 40 years, so they are seen in females of reproductive age group. If it can also occur in teenagers, like in less than 20 years female, and in that case it is known as juvenile fibroadenoma. So this tumor is hormonally responsive, so the size of fibroadenoma increases during pregnancy and it regresses after the menopause. And women who are on cyclosporin A is a immunosuppressant drug, so they can develop multiple and bilateral fibroadenomas. Now we come to the clinical features. So clinically, fibroadenoma is seen in a young female of reproductive age group, and she presents with a freely mobile and well circumscribed mass which is having smooth edges, and it is also known as breast mouse because when we palpate this tumor slips under the fingers. So, and it is highly mobile, so it is also known as breast mouse. So in morphology, we see the gross and microscopic examination of fibroadenoma. So when a specimen of fibroadenoma we can see then that it is a well circumscribed tumor which is round or ovoid in shape, and here we can see the adjacent normal breast parenchyma, and this is the well circumscribed tumor which is round or oval, and it is showing certain slit like spaces. These are the slit like spaces. Again in this picture we can see there is a well circumscribed tumor and cut surface is grayish white, and it is showing these slit like spaces. So these slit like spaces are formed because the fibromyxoid stroma, it is proliferating and it is compressing the ducts. So it leads to these slit like spaces. Now we can also differentiate the fibroadenoma or the benign lesions of breast from the malignant lesion of breast on the cross examination. So what are the differences? So a fibroadenoma is well circumscribed and it has the cut surface is uniform grayish white which is having these slit like spaces, and you can see there is an outer capsule also, while in a case of breast carcinoma the cut surface will show a grayish white growth which is having these infiltrating margins, and it is on the whole it is irregular tumor. So on this basis we can differentiate a benign tumor from a malignant tumor on gross examination. Now microscopically, so since there is proliferation of the myxoid stroma, it creates two types of patterns, and both these patterns can be seen in a single tumor also. So first pattern is known as intracanalicular pattern. Here the fibromyxoid stroma, this stroma, the intralobular stroma, it is proliferating and it is also compressing the ducts, and these ducts, they show slit like spaces because of the compression by the stroma. So these are the glands which are compressed and distorted by the growth of the stroma. And the second pattern is pericanalicular growth pattern. Here also the stroma is proliferating around these ducts, but the lumen of these ducts are still patent. So these are the two patterns, intracanalicular and pericanalicular growth pattern, which can be seen in a case of fibroadenoma. Now, the risk of development of breast cancer in fibroadenoma is about 1%, but this risk increases if certain features are seen in fibroadenoma, like if it has cyst larger than 0.3 centimeter, if there is presence of sclerosing adenosis, if there is calcification, or if there is a apocrine change. In that case, the fibroadenoma is known as complex fibroadenoma, and the risk increases to 1.5 to 2%. Lastly, the investigations. So triple assessment is done for any breast lump that is encountered in OPD. So what triple assessment comprises of? It comprises of three things. First is clinical examination, where we palpate the tumor to understand whether it is benign or malignant. Then radiological investigations are done, like mammography, ultrasound, even CT or MRI can be done to exclude a carcinoma. And the third thing in triple assessment is pathology. In pathology, we do two tests. One is fine needle aspiration cytology, and the second is core needle biopsy. So in FNAC, we take out the sample from the breast lesion by means of a needle and syringe, and we smear it on a slide and stain it to see the morphology of the cells, and then we can make out whether the lesion is benign or malignant, and we can specifically diagnose the lesion also. While in biopsy, we will examine the slide of the tissue, which is stained by the H and E stain, hematoxylin and eosin stain, and then we see the features, and based on those features we can diagnose the lesion, the specific lesion of the breast lump. And finally, the treatment. In treatment, conservative approach can be taken, where medical treatment is given, and in medical treatment we have to follow the patient closely, and surgical excision of the tumor can also be done. So these are the references. Thank you very much.